Hey leaders, thank you so much for leading this weekend, June 6th. This week we are in our last division of the Old Testament, focusing on the minor prophets, reminding kids that they are not called the minor prophets because they are less important. They're called that because they're short. There are short books and there are lots of them. There are 12. So it'll be a cool week wrapping up the Old Testament. They'll be excited to know that they've gotten that far. And we'll keep going looking at the meta-narrative. So these 12 books, what are they about? Hosea is a story about when God had Hosea marry a woman that he knew would run away, and how Hosea chose to forgive her, went and found her, and tried to make things right again. And she kept running away, just like God forgives us and loves us and wants to bring us back over and over again. The book of Hosea is a picture of God's relationship with the Israelites, but also with us. Joel and Amos both wrote warning the Israelites of coming consequences for their behavior. God had promised he was going to punish them if they chose not to obey him, and it repeatedly happened. So Obadiah specifically, Obadiah gives the same message, warning the Israelites about consequences. He gave the same message to Edom, and then Jonah gives the same message to Nineveh. We all know that Jonah said no to God the first time via his actions, and then God gave him a second chance when he said he was sorry and he went back. Micah, he prophesied about the consequences of destruction of Israel and Judah, also including God's plan for the Messiah. In the book of Micah, he prophesied that Jesus would be born in the city of Bethlehem. So Nahum, name means comfort, and so it has that, but it's also, he gave a second message about Nineveh, and they're repenting and about to get some serious consequences. So we know that this had to happen twice, that they got it straight for a little while and then went straight back to it. Habakkuk's book is a conversation between himself and God about why God was letting people suffer. So it's a book of questions and about God's sovereignty and how God works. Zephaniah. He was a very important Israelite, and his book is about warning the Israelites of the consequences that are coming for their continued behavior. Haggai and Zechariah, they both wrote after the return to Israel. So the people had already been in exile, and then they come back. And these books are about encouraging the Israelites to rebuild the city and their temple, as well as their faith in God, to return to God as their Lord, and return to worship and the obedience and all of those things that they were supposed to be doing, so they wouldn't get stuck again. And then Malachi, his is also after the exile, told them God was coming to judge and to restore them, and reminded them that a Savior is coming. His is the last book in the Old Testament. So again, flip side from last week's creative lesson, where they used a long sheet of paper to illustrate about the happenings of the major prophets, because those books are longer. This time they're going to have very small paper in which to illustrate 12 books instead of 5. So they're working on a micro level this week. Our physical group is going to use coloring sheets that have the names of the books of the Bible, and color them if they want. But their goal is to put all the books of the Old Testament in order using those sheets, holding them, putting them on the floor, whatever works best. All right. Thank you so much for leading and helping kids to know Jesus better.